Most of us are not building rock crawlers. We're building vehicles that need to be able to take us out on our adventures on the weekend and then still drive us to work on Monday. These deep, ugly scratches have saved me thousands of dollars worth of body damage on the Tundra, and that's exactly why one of the first modifications I'm making to the Sequoia is a pair of rock sliders. These sliders are a completely bolt-on option from Restless Off-Road. I am very excited to get these installed and start experimenting more with the vehicle off-road.
Restless Off-Road is who built these sliders. I basically found out through the Facebook forums that I'm a part of who they were, and they focus on first generation Toyota products, armor, sliders, bumpers, that kind of stuff. I'm sure they do some other stuff too, but they're great to work with. They package these sliders up really, really well, which is good because it's hard to transport something this big without it getting damaged. There's only so much you can do.
They look really great. They definitely are stout. The welds are super thick. You know, a couple of wear marks here and there from shipping that are gonna have to get touched up by me with some paint. But the reality is, these are sliders and they're going to get abused if you are using your vehicle. So better get used to painting and repairing scuff marks, because it's gonna happen. Yeah, they look super good.
Now, don't be alarmed at the bend in the frame mounting plate that you see. That is totally intentional to match the bend in the frame rails of the Sequoia. Now, I opted to order these just standard with the little ROF symbol up there as the only plating on them, but you can order these things fully plated across the top if you want to. I chose to save a little bit of weight and skip it. Plus, I think this model configuration is the one that's going to get out the door the fastest. I know they're really trying to streamline processes and get things out the door as soon as possible, so these are the ones that are typically going to be more available on the shelf for them. I'll link to the step-by-step install video they did below, but what I really want to talk about here is why I'm choosing rock sliders as one of the first mods for the Sequoia. And it really all comes back to the first 4x4 vehicle I ever owned, which was a 1996 Toyota 4Runner. I didn't know anything about off-roading or overlanding, but screwing around trying to impress some friends in the old gravel pit, I don't know, behind the house a few miles, I ended up high centering myself on the top of this gravel mound I was climbing up. Luckily, I was going really slow and it only damaged the running boards, but it just showed me how quickly things can go from bad to worse if you're not really skilled and aware of your surroundings. One bad line, one hidden stump, or drop down from a higher than expected ledge, and suddenly you are looking at thousands of dollars in damage that is fairly preventable. Now, don't get me wrong, depending on the terrain style that you choose to explore in, full skid plates under your vehicle might be in store, but for me, rock sliders are where I start because I can change out a drive shaft, I can change out a transmission if I need to, but body work is in its own class of skill that I just don't have.
13 pounds, right? $58.46. So all bolts are labeled. Big old gold washers, thick cut fender washers, and locking nuts. They labeled everything for me. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this starts from the front bolt position to the second, to the third, to the fourth, and then all the way at the rear tail of it, where the kick out is for the fifth. And I believe that's the orientation of all the bolts. This guy gets passed in from the rear of the C channel or the frame, and all the rest go in this way from the front.
So basically, I chose to go with bolt-on rock sliders for ease of use on this. I'm just not a fabricator. Like, I want to learn that skill, but I don't have the supplies for it. I've got friends that'll help me, of course, but I wanted to get something that I was going to just be able to bolt on and test. Plus, I did weld-on rock sliders that a buddy of mine built for me on the Tundra, and I thought it would be a good side-by-side comparison to see weld-on versus bolt-on sliders and how they hold up to abuse and just the test of time, really. I plan on running this thing just as hard as I run the Tundra, so we're definitely going to be able to see the side-by-side comparison. The sliders went on really smooth. The only thing I could have asked for is maybe a second set of hands. The mounting holes all lined up perfect. I was able to adjust them. The side step I have there gives you plenty of, purchase to be able to stand up and access on the roof. I gave about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch gap between the slider and the rocker panel, just as a little buffer space for, if the thing ever does bend upward, coming down hard on a rock, or the frame plate decides to slide up on the frame. I don't think that's going to happen. It's got super stout grade 8 bolts torqued down pretty well. I've been able to get these things out and give them a little bit of a shakedown run on some Forest Service roads, really, but I plan on putting them through some significant testing in the future. Now, they do make a version without the kickout, which is called, I think, a V-Rock. I went with the kickout because I'm in the Pacific Northwest. Trails are tight. You can see it right there. Just gives you a little bit of extra protection and the ability to kick yourself out away from obstacles, especially because this is a full-size, very long family SUV. One of the things I'm most excited about moving forward is building relationships with companies like Restless Off-Road, brands that actually support the community and stand behind their products. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming months as I roll out a few new things here on the channel.